Hey guys, tonight we begin a journey that might just change your life forever. Imagine yourself walking through a dense forest at dawn, the air crisp and the silence thick except for the soft rustling of leaves. You probably won't survive this without facing the restless storms inside your own mind. But here's the invitation to awaken, like Siddhartha Gautama did on a quest for truth that led to becoming the Buddha. So before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. Drop your location and local time in the comments. I want to know where you're tuning in from as we step quietly into this path together. Now dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's journey together. Siddhartha's story begins as a sheltered prince shielded from the world's suffering. But when he glimpsed aging sickness, death, and renunciation, his world cracked open. He left his palace and embarked on a profound search for liberation. Historians still argue whether Siddhartha's life story is mostly historical or allegorical, but its message resonates universally. Here's a quirky tidbit. Some accounts say his enlightenment happened under a Bodhi tree, while others suggest different trees, showing that even this story adapts like the truths it conveys. You realize this awakening isn't just an ancient tale, but a living invitation to face your own mind-question assumptions and seek freedom from suffering. Tonight, breathe in this possibility and step forward with curiosity. You come face to face with the Four Noble Truths, Buddha's groundbreaking insight into the nature of suffering and its cessation. This isn't just theory, it's a map for your mind and life. The first truth is simple yet profound. Life includes suffering, aging, sickness, loss, dissatisfaction. Siddhartha saw this firsthand. Historians still debate how much of this was revolutionary in his time, or a re-articulation of existing ideas. On a quirky note, some early Buddhist texts describe suffering as dukkha, often translated as unsatisfactoriness, but it could mean anything from mild discomfort to deep anguish, like when your phone battery hits 1%. The second truth reveals that suffering arises from craving and attachment. You begin to notice how your desires and clinging create inner turmoil. The third truth offers hope. Suffering can end by letting go of craving. It's not about suppressing desires, but understanding and releasing them. Finally, the fourth truth points to the Eightfold Path as the way to freedom, a practical step-by-step guide to transform your life. In your daily experience, recognizing these truths shifts your perspective from frustration to understanding, opening a path to peace. Tonight, breathe into these truths and see how they illuminate your journey. You dive into the Eightfold Path, a practical blueprint that guides your transformation from suffering to freedom. It's like having a spiritual GPS directing you through the twists and turns of life. The path breaks down into 8 interconnected steps: right understanding, right intention, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. Historians still debate how early Buddhists practiced these in daily life, or if they were later systematized for teaching. A quirky tidbit: some Buddhist monks used to memorize these steps with rhythmic chants. Think of it as ancient spiritual rap. You realize that this path isn't about perfection, but about progress, moving step by step toward clarity and compassion. In your daily life, practicing even one aspect, like mindful speech or ethical action, begins to ripple through your experience, softening conflict and deepening connection. Tonight, focus on one step and feel how it subtly shifts your inner world. You cultivate mindfulness and meditation, turning your attention inward to calm the restless mind. This practice isn't about emptying your head, but becoming intimately acquainted with your thoughts and feelings. Buddhist monks have honed meditation for thousands of years, using it as a tool to achieve insight and peace. Historians still debate whether mindfulness was originally a meditation technique or a broader life practice. Here's a quirky fact. Some monks meditate while walking slowly through gardens, each step a meditation, a walking dance of presence. You begin to notice how mindfulness gently dissolves anxiety and brings clarity to your daily life. Even a few mindful breaths can transform your reaction to stress. In your everyday moments, try focusing fully on what you're doing, eating, breathing, or simply being. This presence nurtures peace from within. Tonight, settle into your breath and welcome the quiet power of mindfulness. You learn to let go of attachment, understanding that clinging to people, things, or ideas only deepens your suffering. Release becomes the gateway to freedom. Think about the Buddha's teachings on impermanence and non-attachment central to his path. Historians still debate the nuances of these teachings and their interpretations over centuries. A quirky tidbit: some monks practiced walking meditation with bare feet, feeling the earth directly to remind themselves of impermanence and connection. You begin to see how your grip on possessions or expectations causes frustration and pain, like holding a hot coal, hoping to throw it at someone else. In daily life, practicing non-attachment might mean observing your desires without letting them control you, or accepting change without resistance. Tonight, breathe deeply and invite the grace of letting go into your heart. You embrace compassion as a daily practice, softening your heart toward yourself and others. This openness transforms relationships and deepens your experience of connection. Consider Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva of compassion, who embodies mercy and kindness. Historians still debate the origins and evolution of this figure in Buddhist traditions. Here's a quirky tidbit. Some statues show Avalokiteshvara with multiple arms, symbolizing the ability to help countless beings simultaneously, a spiritual multitasker. You notice how cultivating compassion reduces anger and resentment, replacing them with understanding and forgiveness. In your daily life, simple acts like listening deeply or offering kindness foster this compassion and ripple outward. Tonight, breathe them into your heart and let compassion flow freely. You embrace impermanence, seeing life as a river that's always flowing, never static. This understanding eases your grip on outcomes and softens your suffering. Remember the cherry blossoms of Japan, celebrated for their fleeting beauty. Historians still debate whether the festival began as religious ritual or seasonal appreciation. A quirky tidbit: samurai would gather under these blossoms, reflecting on life's impermanence while enjoying a picnic, a blend of philosophy and fun. You realize that resistance to change is the root of much pain. When you accept impermanence, you find peace in the present moment, no matter how fleeting. In daily life, this might mean embracing transitions with openness instead of fear. Tonight, breathe deeply and let the flow of change soothe your mind. You discover the power of right speech, learning to use words to heal rather than harm. Speech shapes your reality and relationships more than you might realize. Consider how the Buddha emphasized right speech as part of the Eightfold Path, speaking truthfully, kindly, and purposefully. Historians still debate how early Buddhist communities enforced this guideline socially. A quirky tidbit: some monks practiced noble silence for days, using gestures to communicate like ancient sign language. You notice how careless words spark conflict, while mindful speech fosters understanding and peace. In your daily life, pausing before speaking and choosing words with care transforms your interactions. Tonight, breathe into your voice and let your words become bridges, not walls. You understand karma and ethical living, seeing how your actions ripple through time, shaping your present and future. This insight encourages mindful choices rooted in kindness. Think about the Buddhist concept of karma, emphasizing that intentional actions bear fruit. Historians still debate the extent to which karma was interpreted, literally or metaphorically, in early texts. A quirky tidbit: some monks would practice karma yoga, combining physical work with spiritual practice, a holistic approach centuries before work-life balance became trendy. You realize that every choice from words to deeds carries consequences, urging you toward ethical living. In daily life, this means acting with awareness, knowing your intentions matter as much as outcomes. Tonight, breathe deeply and align your actions with kindness and wisdom. You cultivate wisdom, learning to see reality clearly beyond illusions and attachments. This insight breaks the chains of ignorance that bind you. Consider the Buddha's emphasis on prajna, or profound wisdom, as essential for liberation. Historians still debate how early Buddhist schools developed and interpreted wisdom teachings. A quirky tidbit: some meditators describe sudden flashes of insight during deep silence like mental lightning illuminating the dark. You notice how clinging to false narratives causes suffering, while wisdom opens you to truth and freedom. In daily life, cultivating wisdom means questioning assumptions and embracing openness. Tonight, breathe deeply and invite clarity to illuminate your path. You face and overcome anger and fear, learning tools to transform these powerful emotions into calm and resilience. This mastery frees you from being controlled by inner storms. Recall the Buddha's teachings on patience and fearlessness, offering practices to soften anger and confront fear. Historians still debate whether these teachings were primarily for monastics or intended for lay people as well. A quirky tidbit: some monks practiced Tonglen breathing in others' suffering and breathing out relief, a radical compassion exercise. You realize that anger and fear are natural, but don't have to dominate your life. In daily life, this might mean pausing when irritation arises or facing fears with mindful courage. Tonight, breathe into your heart and soften these emotions with kindness. You recognize the vital role of community or sangha as a support system on your spiritual journey. Connection with others strengthens your resolve and nurtures growth. Think about the early Buddhist monastic communities which provided structure and companionship. Historians still debate the extent to which lay people participated versus monastic exclusivity. A quirky tidbit: some monks practiced communal chanting or rituals that lasted for hours, turning group practice into a powerful bonding experience. You notice how solitude and community balance each other with support, uplifting you when the path feels steep. In daily life, cultivating supportive relationships enriches your practice and well-being. Tonight, breathe in gratitude for those who journey with you. You find strength in silence and solitude, learning that retreating inward renews your spirit and sharpens your insight. Silence becomes a sanctuary amid the noise of life. Consider how Buddhist monks undertake solitary retreats to deepen meditation and wisdom. Historians still debate whether solitude was seen as essential or complementary to community life. A quirky tidbit: some hermits lived in caves or forests, surviving on minimal food, embodying extreme commitment. You realize that silence isn't emptiness, but fullness and inner space, rich with clarity and peace. In daily life, carving moments for quiet reflection replenishes your energy and focus. Tonight, embrace silence as your sacred refuge. You practice living with equanimity, maintaining a steady heart amid life's ups and downs. This balanced presence guards your peace regardless of external circumstances. Think of Buddhist teachings on equanimity as one of the four immeasurables, nurturing impartiality and calm. Historians still debate its emphasis across traditions. A quirky tidbit: some meditators train by sitting through intense heat or cold, testing their equanimity in physical extremes. You notice how clinging to pleasure or resisting pain fuels suffering, but equanimity embraces all experience with openness. In daily life, equanimity appears when you face criticism without anger or joy without attachment. Tonight, breathe deeply and embody this calm steadiness. You embrace liberation and freedom, ultimate transformation. Buddhism offers a release from suffering into profound peace and joy. This freedom isn't an escape, but a deep awakening to reality. Consider the stories of enlightened masters like the Buddha himself, who transcended cycles of birth and death. Historians still debate the nature of enlightenment experiences and their interpretations. A quirky tidbit: some enlightened practitioners are known to exhibit spontaneous laughter or tears, moments of raw, unfiltered presence. You realize that liberation arises from consistent practice and deep insight unfolding naturally over time. In daily life, glimpses of freedom appear in moments of profound peace, clarity, and compassion. Tonight, breathe into this awakening, allowing it to permeate your being.